Hello, welcome to the November Griggs Teacher Meeting. And we want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving from our staff. And we're experimenting with something a little bit different today. We're doing a staff meeting online for you to look at and be able to watch as a recording. So hopefully this works out well. We would like your feedback after you're done watching this, and help us know if this is effective. One of the first things that I want to talk about is we have been working on a strategic plan for the last few years, and I have included a document in your email that you need to look at, and I need you to read that over and give me feedback in the different areas and let me know that you're familiar with the new mission statement that we're looking at, and also with the 6 different areas that we're trying to make improvements. So you'll find that as an attachment in your email that was sent earlier today, and please give me feedback on it. Next, I'm going to have Samita from marketing tell you a few things about an app.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited to tell you about the new Griggs International Academy app. It's really going to be a great resource for you and your students. So this app can be downloaded for the smartphone and for any tablet. And here is, I'm not sure if I can get a good view of it, but this is what it's going to look like. And as you can see, once you download it and are able to explore it, students and yourself are going to be able to access our catalog handbook. You're going to be able to sign on to Griggs Online. Our website is accessible through here, as well as accessing several of our forms, which I know students are always requesting our staff. So that's the service report, the requesting for tutoring for math, a request for exams, and then a request for transcripts. There's several other resources on here, so I do encourage you to let your students know that it's available to them. And if they have any questions, to feel free to contact us through this app, because there's a way to contact us right here as well. So definitely take a look and shoot me an email if you have any questions about it or any suggestions, because we're always trying to update and work on this. So hope you enjoy it, hope you're able to look at it, and definitely take a few moments to do so.
Okay, thank you, Samita. Okay, next we're going to talk to Lamar. He's the assistant registrar, and he's going to talk to you, especially if you have Apple students.
So great to meet all of you virtually. I look forward to meeting you all in person one day, but so far things have been going smoothly with our Apple schools, and I'm hoping that it continues to go that way. As you've noticed, students are going to continue to try to finish up since the semester is nearing the end. So we're asking that you all, if you can, please log on at least daily, once a day, just to see what's out there to be graded. We want to keep up with grading, we want to keep up with emails that come through from either the Apple schools or the students themselves. We want to have a good relationship, working relationship with the schools, as well as a good relationship with the students. In terms of contact, I know that oftentimes they have questions for you. You can always refer them, if it's not content specific, you can always refer them to myself. If they have academic questions, of course, if they have administrative questions, you can send them over to Lori Abbott. You don't have to send them to the enrollment office. I get a lot of that where, oh, we were told to contact the enrollment office. Well, we can bypass the third party or going around, you can just send them to me and we'll take it from there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me by email within the course, or you can call me 301 if need be. Again, 301 680 6585, or again, I'm listed in the class list for any of the courses, so you can send me an email. All
Okay,
right, look forward to hearing from you. See you soon. Take care.
thanks a lot, Lamar.
No problem.
Next, we're going to hear from Deirdre Wilkins. She's the course manager, and she's going to talk about some new things that we want to do in courses.
All right, the first thing that I have to talk about is a spot check. We're calling it Shout Out. And these are going to be internal surveys that we are going to put in specific random courses. It'll show up in your course for maybe 2 weeks. We'll let you know that it's going to be there so that you can encourage your students to to participate in that. This is just our way to evaluate how the course is. It helps us plan future courses. We'll be asking the students questions about how they interact, how the teachers are interacting with them. So that's going to be, something that you are going to be impacted by. And as I said, they're just going to be in there for a very short time, and then they're going to move. It's just going to be a random process. We're just trying it out, something new that we found at a conference that we just attended, and we just want to make sure that we are that our courses, if there are small fixes that can happen, we can do it right away, and that's what we're going for. Any improvements. Talking about improvements, one of the things that we are able to do with the new way that you view your courses with Apple and traditional students all together in a list. Last year and previous to last year, every time there was a single small correction that needed to be made, we had to go into every single school and every single, like all of the Apple campuses by themselves, the traditional one by itself, and making a small correction took forever. With the way that it is now, we can go into the course one time, correct that error, and it goes live for everybody. So that being said, we are now being very intentional about finding those errors. I have created a document that's been floating around. We might tweak it a little bit depending on what our feedback is. But as you are grading, if you notice any kind of error, and these are errors that you are very familiar with, you just go, oh, submission 5 has this error, it's always there. We want you to write it down and send it to us. You can use a form, you can print it out, scan and email it, or you can do it directly online. I'll be sending a fillable document. One of the things that we know is a challenge is when you are in the middle of grading something, the assignment number is not at the top of the screen. That's going to take a little bit of time. So at this point, it's going to take some effort on your part, but we're going to put the assignment number in each assignment so that you can look and see, oh, I'm grading assignment 5. That way you can mark that. We also need to know the student's name of who you are grading, because lots of our assignments are from a database, like a question bank, and they randomized. So if you tell me question 6 on assignment 12 has an error, if I don't know the student whose work you've been grading, question 6 on the one that I pull up will be completely different because of the randomization. So we'll need to know the student that you're grading, the number that has the issue. It might be that the points possible comes up wrong every time, and we can easily correct that. It might be that the answer is wrong. We can, if you could give us the correct answer, that's helpful. If there's a page number that's inaccurately quoted from the textbook, whatever error it is that would make a better quality and make your work easier and make it clearer for the students, that's what we want. So you'll be getting information about how to access that form, and we're looking forward to your feedback. If there's something that we should have on that form, let us know that as well.
Okay, and we can even attach that form on the email for the
Oh, yeah,
teachers too.
absolutely, sure.
Okay, thank you, Deirdre. Next, we're going to have Barb Martz talk to us. She's a student service person, and she'll share a few things with us now.
Hi, and we appreciate very much all of the encouragement and the work that you do for the students. It's important to keep in touch because it means a lot to the kids to be able to hear from you, and when they ask you questions so timely, give them answers. It's important to the parents and the students too. You can send notes at holiday times or other times, just encouragement that they've done a really good job. Sometimes you can encourage them if they're a little bit behind their submissions to that you're really looking forward to the next submission. So sometimes when you send feedback and things like that, you can tell them you're looking forward to their next submission. And be sure that you write a lot of positives. If your sense tells you or your students have shared something with you that we need to know where we can reach out from the office to send a card or best wishes, encouragement, whatever. Please let us know what that is. And like I said, if someone is behind, encourage them to get going. If they've got questions on their classes that you can't answer, we're always here to support you and the students no matter what.
Yeah,
And again, thank you for everything you do for our students.
that's good. You know, a lot of times you guys hear things or you read essays or something from students, and we don't hear all the details, but our students go through a lot and they share with you. And I know that when a student like had a parent die or something like that, Barb's really reached out to them and tried to encourage them. So the teacher, as teachers, you are the ears and eyes for us sometimes. So thank you for that. Okay, next, the Kathy Iwasa, who is the associate principal, is going to talk to you about student leadership.
Well, this kind of segues perfectly from what Barb was saying. As teachers, you have a little more constant contact with students than we do here in the office, and I think that's the one thing that I miss in being of the many things that I miss, but one thing I miss most in teaching was having that daily face-to-face contact with kids, especially when you're dealing with them, in meetings, maybe in ad committee or whatever. It was easier when you had that connection. Well, as we've been sitting in our meetings recently, it feels like we're always pointing out the negative things, because those are the things that always come to us. We rarely get the positives. So we were thinking that it would be nice that if as teachers you have a student that's really gone above and beyond, or you see that they've maybe started out down here, but they've really pushed and they've succeeded in passing the class. Sometimes that's just a joyous occasion. Or maybe one that has a positive attitude or helpful. We'd like to hear about those. And then we can focus on some of those in our meetings to kind of balance out the other stuff that we have to deal with. And we've actually been thinking about maybe spotlighting them, maybe putting something on Facebook or sending them a thank you card for being part of our program. So if you will send those to LaRonda at andrews.edu, she'll be able to, she'll collect those and then take care of those for us. And then also, since you are kind of our connection to the students, we are wanting to start peer tutoring. And so if you know of students that would be particularly good in doing some peer tutoring, we'd like to know that as well. You can let LaRonda know if they're particularly good in the area, or you notice that they communicate well, or they're positive attitude. Those are the ones that we're looking for.
Good. And all of the students are required to do 20 hours of community service. And if they become a peer tutor, they can use that for their community service. So they'll actually have to apply and make sure that they have the qualifications to be a peer tutor. So, okay, thank you, Kathy. Gabriella Melgar from Enrollment, she's Enrollment Director. She's going to talk to you about a new thing that we want to experiment with and adding to our classes.
Hello, yes, this kind of continues with the whole importance of teacher-student communication. We're wanting to start experimenting with something called talking points. And what this means is students will be required to, at some point in time during the course, they will have to actually contact the teacher to talk to them over the phone, or maybe set up a Skype meeting so that they can actually talk. And the teacher can kind of see how they're doing and also encourage them, and they can just kind of assess how the student is doing as a whole in the class. This also will become very important for accreditation purposes as well. We want to encourage teachers and students to interact during the course, just so that they feel like they're important and that they belong to our school and our family.
Good. You know, we have extra challenges being a distance ed school and connecting with students, so it's important that we do everything we can. And as Seventh-day Adventist Christian institution, we have even more responsibility, I think, to connect with our students. For some of them, this might be the only contact that they get with other teachers and even the Christian influence. So that's really important. One of the things that we're going to do probably at the end of the summer, we're waiting to see when we can get accommodations, but we're going to plan a leadership retreat, and we're going to invite students to actually come to Andrews University, and they can come here and we'll bring in guest speakers. Some of them will be from Andrews, some of them will be from outside, and we're just going to deal with some things on leadership. And so you'll be seeing advertising about that. Hopefully you have students that you work with that you can recommend that they come to because you see that they're a leader. One of our goals in our strategic plan, after you read it, you'll see that we really want to spend more time in building leaders. And we have recently started National Honor Society, and we're just building more and more things up that can help students become leaders and be successful, in their church and school and in their future. So that's really important to us. Okay.
I think we need to make it clear that the National Honor Society currently is just for Apple students.
For Apple students, yeah, just experimenting. Also, one of the things that Gabriella mentioned, connect the touch points where you connect with students. We'll have to be creative with that if they're an international student. And so that might be just a series of maybe questions asked back and forth in an email or a chat or something like that. But we're going to experiment with just a few classes to start with to see how it goes and how it will affect the teacher and the classes. So I appreciate your time in listening to this teachers meeting, and we're just very appreciative of everything that you guys do for us. Yes, Deirdre?
Sorry, if I can make a suggestion or just throw this out. If one of you teachers has a burden to be a beta tester for the talking points,
Let us
Lorraine
know.
or myself know. We're not going to throw this on everybody. We want to try to experiment with it and see where would be a good spot.
Right.
So if you would love to do that, we'd love to know about that. Otherwise, we're just going to pick you out of a crowd.
That's
We're not
good.
gonna throw them at them yet.
Yeah. No, we want to know how it goes. We want to do it cautiously, but I think it's a proactive step.
There's a couple of the staff that couldn't be here for this video. I'm sure they would have loved to have been here, but we're missing a few. So probably you'll get to see them next time. But again, we just want you to know that we appreciate you and we consider you part of our team. And we want to wish you Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, thank you and have a good night. Bye.
Bye.